Yes, everybody, thank you very much for being here again today. I really appreciate you. We have a few questions we need to talk about. Okay. The first one is I hope I'm going to get answers from you guys. We need your implications so we can maybe move forward with our lives. My first question to you is why do Africans get different treatment when they go to a foreign African country as compared to Caucasians? Let me put it this way, to white people who come to Africa. In a very simple term, I'll say, why would a Ugandan get a different treatment going to a foreign country in Africa compared to a white person going to the same country? Vice versa. I don't understand that. Starting for immigration, you get to immigration, they look at you in a very condescending way, asking you, when are you leaving our beautiful country? This is something I personally experienced in South Africa. It hurt my feelings. And I'm not saying this to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just being honest. This is not a South African thing. This is a general, almost general thing, at least. When are you leaving our beautiful country? Dude, I just arrived. Take a break. When are you leaving our beautiful country? What do you mean? Do you think they would ask the same question to a white person that are arriving in African country? I don't think so. Why are we subjected to pressure when we go through immigration in African countries? Even if they don't say it openly, but you can feel the pressure. You can feel them looking at you in a very funny way, pulling you aside, making you feel like you don't belong, making you sometimes feel like you've done something really wrong, even if you know you have not done nothing wrong. Pushing you in a corner in a way that you feel complied to pay something, to bribe, so you can leave or move on with your life, or go at least to the country, or enter the country, or be granted a visa. Why things that are written on immigration websites are never a reflection of things that you see on the ground, in most African countries at least? Then we pretend to love each other, to be a support for one another, and we call each other brothers in Africa. I think it's very hypocritical. And I think these are questions we need to ask one another in a very pure way, in a very honest way. How can Africa move forward? How can Africa be a strong figure in the world, a strong continent, if the most oppressive people toward Africans are in fact Africans, as opposed to the lectures that we get about colonialism? The crux of the matter is, when Europeans come to African countries, they are treated differently than the way African nationals are treated, often called aliens. Why do we sometimes feel like our rights are not the same as those of the locals, at least as those of the white foreigners in a foreign country in Africa? I don't understand that. I don't get it. Europeans are Europeans whether they are in France, in Belgium, in Italy, or Portugal. They feel the same feeling. We don't, because we feel like we're oppressed by our own brothers, or supposedly brothers. How do you explain that? Number two, why is it difficult for Africans to accept their daughter to get married to an African national from a foreign African country or different African country? Why is it difficult? Why do they make you feel like a pain in the butt? And in most cases, you hear people say things like, is that your new man? Why? Like, the girl goes to her parents and says, I want to marry this guy. I want to marry this guy named Adrian from Kenya, and I'm a girl from Uganda. Or let's say I want to marry this guy named Abdul from Senegal, and I'm a woman from Uganda. What does the family say? In all of Uganda, you have not found a decent man? Have you looked through all of the country? You have not found one man that's good enough for you? You just have to go find somebody from Senegal or Nigeria or Ghana? Okay, maybe there's an issue with that. But why don't they apply the same rules when it comes to white people? When a white person wants to marry a Ugandan girl, or a Kenyan girl for that matter, or a Nigerian girl, then that's not a problem. It does not pose a problem. When it's a white guy, it poses no problem. But when it's an African person from a foreign or a different African country, then you come up with rules and stories and historical facts and all that crap. I don't understand that. How hypocritical is that? Just like some girl told me a while back, a woman from Eritrea, she explained to me how her country usually do not encourage people to marry people from different countries, okay, because of the things that has happened to the country. As you know, according to her, they've lost many men and stuff like that. Therefore, they needed to urgently find a way to bring people together, to have more Eritreans, pure-blooded, under bracket. But then she told me a story about a friend marrying a white guy and how they live in America. And I'm like, okay, this is controversial. Like, this is... I mean, aren't you the same person that just said earlier that you do not marry people from different countries because of cultural reasons or war reasons? Okay, so that only applies to African nationals, not with white people. How can we be the same people with that type of mentality? I don't understand that. Why is the credibility of an African person is always doubted when he goes somewhere else compared to white people? Let me give you an example. A man comes with a project that's decent enough, and he's a good man. He's got everything that's needed, everything that's required. He wants to bring in a project. Why do you ask all these questions? What degree does he have? Where did he study? What gives him the authority to do that? But you don't ask the same question when it's an Italian that comes with the same project. He doesn't go through the same scrutiny, at least, as a black person would in Africa. When a black person goes to an African country, they want to control and find out everything down to the suitcase. Why is he here? Why are you here now? Who do you know here? How long are you staying? Where are you staying? Do you have a number? When it's a white person, they don't ask that. They assume he's here to do good. And this has nothing to do with me being against white people. I love them very much. This has everything to do with African mentality of being subordinate, of feeling lesser men and treating other African people in a very condescending way. Unacceptable. Have you noticed that some of us complain about our government, saying that government is not running things correctly, government is corrupt, government is this, government is that, service delivery is not good? As long as we're not profiting from government. If a member of a government is part of your family, then you don't complain anymore. You can complain when you have nobody in government, but as soon as one of your family members is elected in government, then you don't complain anymore. Then the pain of everybody is not your pain anymore. Then you're not an activist anymore. So most of us are activists when we do not benefit directly from the system. So it has nothing to do with integrity. It has everything to do with profit. Why are we like that? Why are we easily corruptible? They can kill people as long as you get paid. You don't see any problem. If you don't get paid, then you pull all the alarms and everybody has to know that something's wrong. I think we need to change our mentality. And beyond that, I need you to come forward with ideas. Let's talk, brothers, okay? This is how we call each other in Africa, even if we don't really mean it sometimes, most of the time at least. Let's talk. Things are happening in the world. Russia is at war with Ukraine. We're going to be impacted whether we like it or not. I'm going to make another video about that later. But for now on, let's discuss. Why are the prices different from foreign African nationals? Why are the services different? Why is the treatment different? Why can't we treat each other like real brothers, like we pretend to be? Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you. I think we're going to have a lot more talks like this. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to join the crew. I appreciate you, and I hope to speak to you again very soon. God bless.